This fall, prepare for an extraordinary event unlike any the world has ever seen.
Oh, it's going to be much, much bigger than that.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
I feel that I want to be the first political face in the country that will come forth and support this movement. I think that I have to be the face of this movement. It can't be a Democrat or Republican, because I not only talk the talk, I walk the walk. I never took $1 of corporate money. I never took one PAC dollar to become elected governor of Minnesota. I only raised $300,000 to do that, to become governor here. So my campaign was never a campaign about money. My campaign was a campaign about ideas. And we won with it then, and it can happen again. And I just felt motivated that this was a movement against corporations taking our government. And I feel that I have to stand with these people on that position. The central message is we have two political parties who have sold themselves out to Wall Street. Now, I love Wall Street. I do. I just don't like the crooks and conspirators who run it. Wall Street itself's a great idea. You know, I participate in it. As I said, I just don't like the crooks and how they've hijacked our government. I mean, every Secretary of Treasury, regardless of political party, comes out of Goldman Sachs. Did you know that? See, do your homework, mainstream media. Might help. There, I've chastised you, which I enjoy doing.
Specifically, what do you think can be achieved by this? Another
I don't
party,
know. I don't want another party. I don't want another party. Any party to survive in the U.S. system will have to corrupt itself. I'm for the abolishment of all political parties. I stand with John Adams, who said the United States would fall not from a force outside but from within when political parties take over the government. That's who I stand with, the forefathers of our nation.
What do you see as the end game, though? The ultimate goal?
I don't know. Why are you asking me that? I just joined it. I just joined it. I'm not the leader of this movement. I'm just the first elected high official who's had the courage to come out and stand with the movement. I don't run it. These people didn't even know I was showing up today. Nobody called me. Nobody organized me.
You think it's going to keep growing?
No, not at all.
Koch brothers.
Not me.
Where do you think?
No one called me. Actually, my son informed me of it. He said that my website was being overrun with people wanting to know if I would come out and do it. So it was citizens who called me, I guess, via my website. That's how I found out about this. I was working, and I found out about this morning via my website. And my son, who runs it for me, said they're demanding across the nation for Jesse Ventura to show up at this. People. So the people called me, I guess. That's who elected me. Isn't that amazing? The people.
Why do you think this is touching a nerve right now?
Why? Because there's many people who love our country and don't like the idea it's been hijacked. I have a T-shirt now that I put out on my website that says, with my name on it, I love my country, not my government. And I think I can say that because I don't like Democrats and Republicans. And I have the right to say that. And I'm an independent. So why would I love them? They're ruining my country. You notice I talk about them in the same. I don't separate them because they're both bought and sold. They've created a system based upon bribery. Plain and simple. You pay them money, you keep them in their jobs, you give them cushy retirements, and they do for you. That's what we've turned into, and hopefully that's what these people out here are going to help to stop and turn around and take our country back.
What are you saying to them?
Nothing. I just showed up here. I'm talking to you guys. You're the ones talking to me. I haven't talked to them at all.
Just to lend a face and a voice?
Well, I just felt that no politician has come out anywhere in the country yet with this group, have they? Then I'm the first one. Then I should be. Because as I said, I only raised $300,000. Not 1 cent came from a corporation, a political action committee, or nothing. So whose face should be here for this movement? Someone who did not take corporate money to get elected.
Run, Paul! Run, Paul! Run, Paul! combined will reach tens of millions of people. And make no mistake, all over the United States there are demonstrations and occupations of the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve. The sleeping giant that is the American people is waking up and realizing that America's wealth and power and ingenuity was hijacked in 1913 by a criminal conspiracy of bankers to masquerade as a federal agency to use the power of the U.S. currency and the people to buy off the world and set up a tyranny. And now the people have awakened to that tyranny, and the beginning of the end of the criminal Federal Reserve has begun! My friends, an incredible thing has happened in the last 3 days. The chairman of the Federal Reserve, Osama bin Bernanke, has come out and said he supports the Occupy Wall Street movement. We've seen the head of the Dallas Federal Reserve, one of the most powerful in the country, come out and say he supports Occupy Wall Street. We've seen Bill Clinton. We've seen George Soros. We've seen Al Gore. We've seen all the people that have gotten rich and powerful on the stealing people's tax money to their corporate fascist system, telling the American people that are hitting the streets and angry at the corruption of Wall Street that they need to sit down and basically feel good because the government hears you and is with you. This is a desperate attempt for the system to try to co-opt the anger, and they've sent out all of the operatives from the Republican and Democratic parties to try to take over the awakening to the bankster fraud. But that is now backfiring right now, and all over the country people are pointing out some general demonization of, quote, capitalism, free market, private property by Michael Moore, worth hundreds of millions of dollars, is an abject manufactured fraud. Of course the Federal Reserve wants to endorse some nebulous thing about Wall Street being bad. No, let's talk about the big 6 megabanks that own the private Federal Reserve, who control the tens of trillions of dollars they've stolen, and all the wars they've launched, and all the Goldman Sachs heads of the last 20 years that are always the Treasury secretaries. This is the shadow government. This is the corporate private hijackers. This is the enemy. This is the cancer. This is where the problem is.
Check on you. I got
Fire for the camera.
Okay, let's line up the perimeter security. Let's go. Don't get me started, but they've all committed treason. More laws than I can list than you're going to allow me time for, sir. Not only they have access, and did have access to the highest office through their former president, Dick Cheney. We remember Dick, the father of darkness.
Are you happy with the Obama administration?
No.
What would you change?
More than you know, more than you'll allow me time for. I just want my country back, please. Peacefully and with love. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. right? Peace, brother. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You know, and it's flow, man.
You've been thinking about this stuff for a long time.
Let's tell the world what we're all about. Let's occupy San Diego. Okay, we need volunteers on the big banner. Big banner, somebody pick it up. They got bailed out. We were sold out. 10 people maybe. Pull that one along. Let's go. Hands right over there. We're going to stay there just for a minute, then we're going to come back here. Then we're going to have a big rally here. Candle lighting, etc. Anybody that wants to camp can camp here. Then we're going to continue and probably tomorrow move back up to the plaza, the Civic Center Plaza, okay? That's the plan. Please get everybody you can to join in. This is...
Imagine, here was a young girl who was just becoming aware of our democracy.
When Benjamin Franklin exited the Constitutional Convention, he was asked by a woman, "Sir, what have you given us?" His immediate response was, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." Yet most Americans today have been persuaded that our nation's governmental system is a democracy and not a republic.
Little smiley face, and here it is again. Special for you, special count for you people that don't believe. Or do believe but don't understand. And say, well, it's not important. Well, it is important, folks.
Imagine, here was a young girl who was just becoming aware of our democracy.
When Benjamin Franklin exited the Constitutional Convention, he was asked by a woman, "Sir, what have you given us?" His immediate response was, "A republic, ma'am, if you can keep it." Yet most Americans today have been persuaded that our nation's governmental system is a democracy and not a republic.
I want to live up to her expectations. I want our democracy to be as good as Christina imagined it.
The difference between these two is essential in understanding Americanism and the American system. Before we discuss political systems, however, it's helpful to address the confusion that has been spread about the political spectrum. Many have been led to believe that the political spectrum places groups such as communists on the far left, fascists or dictators on the far right, and political moderates or centrists in the middle. However, a more accurate political spectrum will show government having zero power on the far right to having 100% power on the far left. At the extreme right, there is no government. The extreme left features total government under such labels as communism, socialism, Nazism, fascism, princes, potentates, dictators, kings, any form of total government. Those who claim that Nazis and fascists are right-wing never define their terms. This amounts to spreading confusion. Toward the middle of the political spectrum can be found the type of government limited to its proper role of protecting the rights of the people. That's where the Constitution of the United States is. Those who advocate such a form of government are really constitutional moderates.